Hello everyone, my name is Juniko Sihaan and I'm from National Cultural Agency, Indonesian Democratic Party of Struggle. Thank you very much for joining us. Right now I'm with the Ambassador of India to the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Manoj K. Bharti.
Good morning.
Good morning, selamat pagi. Thank you very much for your time and having this exclusive interview about 120 years commemoration of Soekarno, and warm regard from our chairwoman Ibu Megawati Soekarno Putri. And as we both know, the good relationship between Indonesia and India, and then with Mr. Soekarno and Mr. Nehru, not also as a leader but also as a friend.
Yeah.
How well do you know the figure of Soekarno, sir?
Once again, good morning to everyone. President Soekarno is a very well-known figure for people in India, particularly in view of what happened during our own struggle for independence. When we were about to get independence, Indonesia was also in the same footing. On our side, the Indian National Congress and Prime Minister Nehru were the central figure immediately before and after our independence. From that point of view, there was a close understanding between the independence struggle in India and independence struggle in Indonesia. That is the reason why if we look at India's foreign policy in the time period of 1950s and 60s, the nations which had got independence along with us, Indonesia being one of the most prominent ones, there was a close dynamics. And at that time, President Soekarno was the alter ego of Indonesia. Indonesia was known as President Soekarno, and President Soekarno was known as the person from Indonesia. From this, one can understand that Indonesia being, even at that time, the fourth largest country in the world, India being the second largest populous country in the world, we needed to stick with each other in the struggle for independence, and that struggle to remain neutral between the forces of capitalism and communism.
Yeah.
This was the very important struggle for all of us. Both Prime Minister Nehru and President Soekarno became instrumental in formation of the non-aligned movement, which was done in 1961. And before that, what happened in Bandung was known to the whole world. When we read the history of modern Indonesia, it is not complete without the mention of President Soekarno. The vision he had for his country, a country which has as much unity in diversity, respect for ancient philosophy, culture, as well as the aspirations of the people, the welfare of the people, and the active foreign policy of keeping ourselves independent matches very well. And people remember President Soekarno from that point of view.
Thank you, thank you. And how did the spirit of friendship of Soekarno inspire you as a state representative assigned to the Republic of Indonesia?
President Sukarno's ideals of struggle against imperialism, colonialism, and all forms of foreign interference is also the basis of Indian foreign policy. As a career diplomat, I joined the Indian Foreign Service 32 years ago. So as a foreign diplomat, it was a lesson to us, just as we studied India's freedom struggle. We also studied Indonesia's freedom struggle. And from that point of view, for every Indian diplomat, Indonesia and President Sukarno's story as a contribution to the rise and stability of Indonesia becomes a lesson. His world vision, President Sukarno's world vision, not to give in to pressure from outside, instead being strong internally, is also the same that we practice in India. And as a diplomat from India, it affects me quite intensely. President Sukarno's foresight that newly developed countries like ours, India and Indonesia, should chart out a different path for themselves and resist any kind of interference from west or east are inspiring and relevant even today.
Yes.
Though it has nearly 75 years have passed, but the world still requires countries like India and Indonesia to be democratic and taking care of not only their own people's welfare, but also a lot of world affairs, and the welfare of the people at a global level depends on how we act both in India and Indonesia.
Okay. So, how is the role of Sukarno as the first president of the Republic of Indonesia recognized by the people in your country?
The people of India and the government of India have always given deep respect to President Sukarno for the world vision that he had, for the policies that he followed, and the similarity of views that we and our leaders held in India with that of the views of President Sukarno. You can understand that respect for President Sukarno from the fact that he was invited as the first chief guest for the independence, for the Republic Day of India on the 26th January 1950. That was a great recognition of the importance that Indonesia held for India and President Sukarno had for the people of India. India and Indonesia have cultural relations which goes back to centuries. And President Sukarno called upon the people of Indonesia and India to intensify the cordial relationship that had existed between our two countries for so many hundreds of years, and I can say millennia, more than 2 million, 2 millennia in the past. Though these relationship has been disrupted by the colonial occupation that we both suffered, we need to revive those kind of sentiments and those kind of relationship which saw not only cultural relationship but also a huge amount of trade relationship. And all this had responded very strongly with the people in India. Both our leaders, President Sukarno and Prime Minister Nehru, had shared similar ideals of non-interference, non-aligned action taken by the different nations. And people of India feel connected with the way Indonesia developed under President Sukarno.
As you mentioned before, the connection between Sukarno and also Nehru has together formed the non-alignment movement after the Bandung Conference in 1955. So how do you see these two relations?
Prime Minister Nehru and President Sukarno shared a very warm and very cordial relationship.
Exactly.
And that was based on their understanding of history and understanding of the need for people who have been oppressed under imperialism to stand on their own feet. That was perhaps the basis of the Bandung Conference.
Yes, exactly.
The newly independent countries in Africa and in Asia, they needed this kind of coming together so that there is a sense of unity against oppression. This was very well outlined during the entire Bandung conference. India considered that conference to be the setting stone for further development of the non-aligned movement that engulfed so many countries willingly. A large number of newly independent countries immediately took shelter under non-aligned movement. And along with other leaders from Egypt, Ghana, Yugoslavia, this was something which touched every chord amongst almost 1 billion people at that time, more than 1 billion people across the whole globe. The Asia-Africa Conference brought together these newly liberated countries with a vision that it is not important to be either with the West or the East. There is a new way which can be charted out. And as I earlier said, being countries what we are, both India and Indonesia, the lead naturally came to us to show to the world that if we can be independent, we will encourage you to become independent in your thoughts, in your actions, and in your activities. I'll once again repeat this, that at that time as well as now, India is supposed to be the world's largest democracy, and Indonesia is the world's third largest democracy.
Yes.
In Asia, we are the world's two most biggest democracies. So from that point of view, we have a special role in forwarding the concept of democracy, giving people this confidence that democracy is a form of government that takes care of the welfare of everyone concerned.
Exactly. Your Excellency, before you mentioned about how important the role of history, so please convey a message or motivation to all generations concerning the importance of learning and caring about the history of the nation, especially for youth.
Thank you for giving this opportunity to know me.
Yes.
I would like to address mostly the youth of Indonesia, because youth are the future of a country.
Exactly.
And it is very important for the youth to be educated well in their own history. It says that if you do not learn from history, you are doomed to your past failures. So I will strongly advocate that the youth of Indonesia must learn the history of their country and absorb it, because it's just not passing an examination in a school or a college. You should absorb the history of your country. You should take pride in the history of your country, and then see how you can take forward your country in future. And in this journey, President Sukarno and his life and his work should be treated as a good lesson for the youth. I would wish all the best to the memory of President Sukarno. I'll wish all the best to the youth in their struggle to keep the democracy in Indonesia alive, to keep the ideals of President Sukarno, which included the principles of Panchasila in a very, very committed manner. This is the way in which a country as big, as vast, and as diverse as Indonesia can prosper in the coming days. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, as Your Excellency. Once again, would like to thank you for allowing this incredibly delightful exchange of dialogue to occur. Our best hopes and wishes for a continually cordial relation between India and the Republic of Indonesia as the two biggest democratic country in Asia. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sahabat sekalian, terima kasih sudah bersama dengan kami. Demikianlah tadi bincang-bincang kita dengan Ambassador of India untuk Republik Indonesia. Dan mudah-mudahan apa yang sudah disampaikan tadi menyatakan bahwa Bung Karno selaku bapak bangsa bukan hanya dikenal di Indonesia, tapi mempunyai berbagai history atau kenangan di seluruh dunia. Terima kasih dan selamat siang.